Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Friday Night Red Zone here on the Epic Sports Network. We are buckled up and ready for another extremely exciting night of region play throughout the state. And we have got some exciting games we'll be featuring here tonight on the Friday Night Red Zone. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get you out to our featured quad view full of some live football underway around the Grand Canyon. We're rotating through some games tonight. You see Chandler and the Pumas getting ready to do battle in the top corner of your screen. The Red Mountain Mountain Lions and the Hamilton Huskies getting ready to square off there in the bottom left corner. Up in the northeastern part of the state, we've got the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets squaring off tonight. And then in the top right-hand corner, you see the Northwest Christian Crusaders hosting the Thunderbird Titans. That's going to be a matchup there. Keep our eye on as well tonight throughout the evening here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Buckle up. We've got a great night of Friday football for you here on the Epic Sports Network and aztv7.com. So glad you tuned in here tonight. Sit back, relax, and enjoy 3 hours of commercial-free football, which starts right now. Welcome back to all those of you watching on aztv7.com and the Epic Sports Network here on Friday night. So glad you joined us here for another edition of the Friday Night Red Zone. I'm James Poovey coming to you live here. And we got a slew of outstanding football games as we welcome in the Morenci Wildcats and the Thatcher Eagles doing battle there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. I'm also blessed to be joined as we go throughout the evening here with a number of special guests. Mr. Brett Quintine will be joining me from the Sierra Linda at Seton Catholic game. Mr. Kyle Morgan is down in Southern Arizona this Friday night. He'll be joining me from Catapult Sports as he is at the Mojave at Sabino game. So we'll get to check in with those guys. Mojave, the Thunderbirds, undefeated going into that game tonight against the Sabino Sabercats. Mr. Peter Clark will also join me this evening with some updates from the McClintock at Campo Verde game. He's with 5 Star Sports. And rounding out the evening of special guest tonight, Mr. Brandon Jones from BJ Media. He's out at one of the games of the evening there at your top left-hand corner of your screen, the Chandler at Perry game. So we'll be getting some updates from him throughout the evening as well. So glad you tuned in here tonight for another evening of the Friday Night Red Zone. Buckle up, get ready for some outstanding Arizona high school football. The Hamilton Huskies with a 7-0 lead over the Mountain Lions in quarter number 1. Were scoreless out at Perry High School on John Wren Stadium as the Perry Pumas battling the Chandler Wolves. And condolences to Coach Joe Ortiz for the Perry Pumas. Unfortunately, lost his father last evening. So thoughts and prayers out to the Ortiz family and specifically Coach Joe Ortiz. You are on our mind this evening throughout the Arizona high school football community as your team is battling the Chandler Wolves. The Wildcats of Morenci, under the recently returned to Arizona coach Rashard Davis, leading the Thatcher Eagles right now down in the southeastern portion of the state, 7-0 right now. That ball game also in quarter number one. And folks, we also have some playoff football on the Friday Night Red Zone for you. The Mojave Accelerated Learning Center is battling the Baghdad Sultans tonight in the second round of the 1A playoffs. Those playoffs got started last weekend. So we'll keep our eye on that game as we progress throughout the evening as well. Back to the live football here, quad view style here on the Epic Sports Network and aztv7.com. And as you can see there, you want to find our quad view top right-hand corner of your screen features a game that had a lot of attention this week. The Centennial Coyote battling the Pinnacle Pioneers. Saw the 101 and the 51 there in North Phoenix, so we'll keep our eye on that game as well here throughout the Friday Night Red Zone here on the Epic Sports Network and aztv7.com. Enjoy the Yet another outstanding evening of Arizona high school football as we welcome you inside the broadcast studio here for the Friday Night Red Zone on the Epic Sports Network and AZTV7.com. Hope you're having a fantastic week. The weather is finally starting to cool off here in the Grand Canyon State, and definitely great evenings ahead to be out as we approach the playoffs here in State 48. And Arizona high school football really kicking into gear here in the last 2 weeks of the regular season as we approach the playoffs, which will be starting very shortly. Back to the live football action here on the Friday Night Red Zone. We'll be switching out games as we go along. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Buckle up. More football on its way. We head down to Pinal County for a battle in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen between the Florence Gophers and the ALA Ironwood team. That is a matchup, I believe, for the region title there, if not definitely playoff implications on the line there tonight in Florence. So we'll keep our eye on that game right there. It looks like the visiting ALA Ironwood Warriors on top 7-0 there over the Florence Gophers. Just under 2 minutes remaining in quarter number one. So glad you joined us here this evening on the Friday Night Back to football. Hamilton Huskies on top of the Red Mountain Lions, 21-0. That game just inside quarter two. The Chandler Wolves on top of the Perry Pumas right now, 14-0. Centennial 7, Pinnacle 0 right now. Looks like the Pioneers backed up in their own end, but no doubt a man that can get them out of there is Mr. Wyatt Horton. You saw a nice little swing pass for him right there. 7-7. The game knotted up in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And that is ALA Ironwood and Florence doing battle out there in Pinal County. So we'll keep our eye on that game as well. And we'll switch you over to the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. We're going to audible now here on the Friday Night Red Zone and go over to Higley at Desert Mountain. That game with 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Desert Mountain Wolves and Coach Conrad Hamilton on top 7-0 over the Higley Knights. We'll keep our eye on that one as well as we move forward here on the Friday Night Red Zone. So glad you joined us on aztv7.com and the Epic Sports Network. great action all around State 48 here tonight. And now pleased to be joined by Mr. Quintine here on the Epic Sports Network's Friday Night Red Zone. He is out at the Seton Catholic and Sierra Linda game. Brett, give us an update on what's going on out there. It's a tight game at last check.
Well, James, good one. We played one quarter. Sierra Linda. First thing I'll say is Sierra Linda is on point. We started the game on Sunday, recovered. It gets cold, but ultimately scored a point. Got to stop. Here's another on Sunday. But since then, down, they found their rhythm with kick, quarterback. Tuesday, I received the point conversion.
11-8, you heard it right there from Mr. Brett Quintine between Sierra Linda at Seton Catholic out there in Chandler. Brett, so much appreciation for you all being with us here on the Friday Night Red Zone, and we look forward to checking with you again here maybe sometime during the second half. Take care out there, my friend. Always appreciate Mr. Brett Quintine joining us here on the Friday Night Red Zone. He is literally one of the OGs here on the show. He was with me during the testing phase as well of this program, and I certainly appreciate his involvement with the program here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Stay with us more Friday Night Football coming your way here on the Epic Sports Network and AZTV7.com. We welcome you to hour number 2 here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Great matchups all around the Grand Canyon State. The bottom right-hand corner features the Florence Gophers and the ALA Ironwood Warriors. That game knotted up just at the half, 14 apiece. Nearing the half, about 5 minutes remaining in the half up there in North Scottsdale. Desert Mountain Wolves 7 and the Higley Knights 6. The Chandler Wolves all over the Perry Pumas right now, 28-7. About 2.5 minutes remaining in that first half. And the Centennial Coyotes 17-0 currently over the Pinnacle Pioneers. That game with about 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Back to the live football here on the Friday Night Red Zone. More special guests and more football coming up next. The Morenci Wildcats and the Thatcher Eagles squaring down in southeastern Arizona. That game knotted at 7 apiece. A lot of games at the half right now, so we're keeping all as much live football on the screen as we can for you here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, and we will try to check in with the Arizona Diamondbacks and Texas Rangers as they are competing in Game 1 of the World Series. We'll get you an update on that as well here as we progress throughout Friday Night Red Zone. Stay with us. So much good football all around the Grand Canyon State here this evening. The Morenci Wildcats and the Thatcher Eagles knotted at 7 apiece. The game up in the top right-hand corner of your screen is at the half. That is the Thunderbird Titans and the Northwest Christian Crusaders. That one knotted up at 10 apiece, as I just saw, courtesy of the Thunderbird Titans Twitter page. 14-14 between the Florence Gophers and the ALA Ironwood Warriors. And as you see in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets retaking the field, getting ready for half number 2 there as they get ready to battle or continue to battle the Round Valley Elks. More Friday Night Football for you here. All the words Friday Night Red Zone. Stay with us. More special guests as well coming up shortly. other scores from around the valley tonight. Desert Edge Scorpions trailing the Cactus Cobras 14-7 at half. From Central Phoenix, it is the Central Bobcats and the North Mustangs. Central on top 21-7. We'll get you some other scores from around the Valley of the Sun as we're now pleased to be joined here momentarily by Mr. Kyle Morgan. He is down south at the Mojave at Sabino game down in southern Arizona. All right, we got Mr. Kyle Morgan joining us here on the Friday Night Red Zones on the Epic Sports Network. He's down there at the Sabino game. Kyle, tell me what's going on. Give us an update on that football game down there in southern Arizona, my friend, and great to see as always.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. We got a good game going here. Sabino's got the lead here at half. We just hit halftime in 2014. It's been back and forth battle so far. So, just talking to the Mojave players, 7.5-hour bus ride to get here. And Sabino, is looking forward to this matchup too. So it's going to be a good finish here. Cam Hackworth is doing it all, both sides of the ball, even, had a long punt return. And then, Mojave is just kind of methodically moving the ball down the field. And really, they just got to keep the D-line from Sabino off their quarterback, and they should have some success second half.
Kyle, you mentioned a 7.5-hour bus ride for the Mojave Thunderbirds. That's about as long as it gets traveling across the state of Arizona. Did they mention anything special aside from the obvious stretching and calisthenics that you would normally do before a football game to try to get that blood flowing again after that long of a ride?
They didn't mention anything specific, and it wasn't a fancy bus either. It was a plain old school bus. So, props to Mojave for hitting the field tonight, and see if they can keep their unseason going.
Mr. Kyle Morgan from Catapult Sports joining us here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Thank you so much, Kyle, for checking in, and we look forward to talking with you again here in half number 2. Thank you, my man.
All right, thank you.
Back to the live football here on the Epic Sports Network's Friday Night Red Zone on AZTV7.com. A special thanks once again to Mr. Kyle Morgan, always coming on and giving us some outstanding updates from around the Grand Canyon State on exciting football happenings. Real. Folks, we got special guests coming out of the woodwork right now. Now we've got Mr. Brandon Jones from BJ Media. There we go, Brandon. Looking good right there as we get ready to cut to you here live on the Friday Night Red Zone. Give us that widescreen view really quick that you had a moment ago there. Brandon is out at the Chandler at Perry game. As you can see right now, it is all Chandler Wolves 28-7. Brandon, give us your thoughts on what is almost a full half of football there out at Perry High School in Gilbert.
Yeah. They got a lot of guys out due to injury, but it's been no problem for them. Offense has looked really sharp. The one drive. Defense also looked sharp. The only score the game on a kick return touchdown. So they're trying to, in the last 2 weeks of the season, just stamp that they belong in the open and will be state title defenders.
Is there anything you think the Perry Pumas can do in half number 2 after they make those all-important halftime adjustments to maybe try to claw their way back into this football game, Brandon?
Chandler off not score at it's going to be tough for the 28 defense. Turnover, get themselves here.
Brandon Jones from BJ Media checking in with us from the Chandler at Perry game. We look forward to catching up with him in the post game tonight, and maybe he'll have an MVP type player for us to talk with as well. Thank you, Brandon, for your time as always, and we'll check in with you again during half number 2, my friend. Thank you, sir. We go from one special guest to another here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Now we've got Mr. Brett Quintine back with us here, and he is out at the Sierra Linda at Seton Catholic game. Brett, give us an update on that contest.
Well, last spoke, not a single point. 11. Both teams. Over.
Thank you so much for checking in once again with us, Mr. Brett Quintine, out at the Sierra at Seton Catholic game. Look forward to checking in with you again during half number 2. Brett Quintine from azpreps365.com. Make sure to catch him tomorrow morning on the AZ Preps Saturday morning radio show, where you guys will have 2A and 3A bracket show. Is that right? Brett Quintine here with us on the Friday Night Red Zone. Always appreciate his participation. Back to the live football here on the Epic Sports Network's Friday Night Red Zone on aztv7.com.
Hello?
We got special guests coming all over the place here on the Friday Night Red Zone. We're now pleased to be joined by Mr. Peter Clark. He's from 5 Star Sports. Give us that wide shot there really quick, Peter, and we'll bring you in here really quick. He's out at the McClintock at Campo Verde game out there in Gilbert. We'll see if we can bring him in here in just a moment. There's Peter right there.
Hello.
Peter, how are you, my friend? Thanks so much for coming on with us. Give us an update from that McClintock at Campo Verde game out there in Gilbert.
So, we're just starting the second half here. It was 7 at the half, and McClintock so far has pretty much dominated this game offensively. Campo Verde has not really got anything going on offense. First quarter started out very sloppy on both sides with a lot of turnovers. You know what I mean? So, pretty calm game right here.
One of the state's leading passers out there you're getting to watch tonight in Jackson Knutson. What did you see from this young man from McClintock?
Yeah, Jackson Knutson, he's pretty much got them all their 12 points today. You know what I mean? They're pretty much just throwing the ball every play. He got a great arm, already with a 60-yard pass to wide receiver Khalil Bender. He can make every throw.
He really can. Peter Clark with 5 Star Sports joining us from the McClintock at Campo Verde game. Peter, stay with us a little bit later on this evening and check in one more time if you would and give us an update as that one gets closer to going final here this evening.
All right. Thank you for having me. I'll be back.
Hey, thank you for coming on with us. I appreciate it so much. Back to the live football here on the Friday Night Red Zone on the Epic Sports Network. Thanks again, Peter. welcome you back here on the Friday Night Red Zone. This note just in a little bit ago from Chris Eaton over at Gridiron, Arizona. Running back Cameron Athey for the Central Bobcats under the direction of Coach Chandler Hovick runs for his 27th touchdown this season and has tied Trung Candidate's school record over there at Central High School. So we'll keep an eye on that young man who is absolutely tearing up the Arizona high school football scene this season as a member of the Central Bobcats. You got the chance to see them over at Dobson High School on Thursday Night Football earlier this season. You can catch that game on demand on the Epic Sports Network on YouTube. Back to the live football here on the Friday Night Red Zone on aztv7.com and the the Epic Sports Network. In what was thought to be the game of the evening, the Centennial Coyotes all over the Pioneers in North Phoenix tonight, 17-0. The Coyotes leading over Pinnacle right now. That game just into quarter number 3. That is the AIA Game of the Week and available live on the NFHS Network and azpreps365.com. We get you back now to the quad view here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Stay with us. We hope you're enjoying the live football here on the Epic Sports Network's Friday Night Red Zone. Special shout out to the fine folks over at AZTV7. for helping us get this thing on the air this season and broadcasted or simulcasted, I should say, on aztv7.com.
Want to see Big Bang from the start?
Oh, hi.
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 Watch The Big Bang Theory and play the Valpak See It From the Beginning 10K sweepstakes. You could win the $10,000 grand prize.
Yes, thank you.
Or $500 daily cash prizes and $100 instant wins inside Valpak.
Oh, goody.
Watch Big Bang weeknights for the word of the day.
Bazinga.
Text it to 55225 or go to BigBangSweepstakes.com. See Big Bang from the start and you could win.
Big Bang Theory, weeknights at 6 on Channel 7.
got some other scoring updates for you from around the Valley of the Sun. Jordan Blake for the Skyline Coyotes plunges in for his 5th score of the night. They are on top 35-17 right now. Mr. Richard Smith is out at O'Connor High School. It's homecoming night. They are on top 35-0 over the Valley Vista Monsoon. At the end of the third quarter, Camelback on top of Petty Fairfax, 14-7. And a good game down in southern Arizona between the Micah Mountain Thunderbolts and the Walden Grove Redwoods. We'll keep our eye on that one as well. Back to the live football here on the Epic Sports Network's Friday Night Red Zone. And a hearty congratulations to Coach Rashard Davis and the Morenci Wildcats. They get the road win tonight over the Thatcher Eagles in a tightly contested ball game. More tight ones as we come down the stretch here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Back to the live football. We were going to cut in now on the Canyon View and Verrado game, that being presented on the Neighborhood Sports Network.
To be run by Canyon View before we hit the break, but it's a 27-24 ball game right now. And Verrado needing a stop.
There you heard it from Josh Kolojeski on the call right there for the Neighborhood Sports Network. 27-24, the Canyon View Jaguars on top of the Verrado Vipers. A 3-point ball game there. That one's still in the third quarter. Back to the live football here on the Friday Night Red Zone. So glad you joined us. The Chandler Wolves And the Perry Pumas doing battle out in Gilbert, Arizona tonight. It's all Chandler Wolves at this point. I believe we've got Truett here with us. BJ Media. Truett, why don't you chime in and give us a little bit of an update on what's going on out there? It's all at this point as that game is going down to quarter number 4. Is that correct?
How's it going, everybody? It's Drew Robinson here with BJ. Chandler has still been dominating this game as we are now just beginning the fourth quarter. It is currently 42-7 Chandler. Perry really has not been able to do much offensively and defensively, and Chandler still just continues to run and control this game, and it looks like it's going to be a very easy number in the win column for Chandler here tonight.
Truett, is there anything out of the ordinary that you've seen tonight from the Chandler Wolves, or is it just kind of status quo and pretty much the Khalil Valentine show this evening?
Khalil Valentine has been having a good game himself. He's had multiple touchdowns this game. Really nothing super out of the ordinary for Chandler here tonight. Really just a complete one-sided game. Perry really has not been able to get much going, neither offensively or defensively, and Chandler continues to keep really doing well in the run game, and that's really about it.
Well, I so appreciate your time tonight, Truett, checking in with us on behalf of BJ Media. We'll try to get back with you again before that game goes final, or possibly shortly thereafter, and maybe you'll have a player for us to visit with as well. Thank you so much, Truett. We'll talk to you a little bit later here on the Friday Night Red Zone.
Thank you very much. I'll see you guys later.
Sounds good. Truett joining us courtesy of BJ Media out there. He's at the Chandler Perry game out there in Gilbert. Back to the live football here on the Friday Night Red Zone. game we are keeping a close eye tonight on between the Thunderbird Titans and the Northwest Christian Crusaders. Elijah Little has scored his third rushing touchdown of the evening for the Thunderbird Titans, giving them a 27-13 lead with just over 5 minutes remaining in the ball game out there at Northwest Christian High School. That update courtesy of Mr. Richard Obert from AZ Central. Always appreciate his contributions to Arizona high school football. Thunderbird Titans pulling away there, a 14-point lead right now, as Coach Dave Ennis and the Crusaders trying to work their way back into that football game. Live football here on the Epic Sports Network's Friday Night Red Zone. Once again, thanks to Pruitt from BJ Media for checking in with us a little bit ago from the Chandler at Perry game. We also hope to catch up with Mr. Kyle Morgan and Brett Quintine as well one more time here this evening, and Mr. Peter Clark will be checking in with us as well from McClintock at Campo Verde. Stay with us as we round out another Friday night here on the Friday Night. Another surprising score this evening here in the Grand Canyon State. The Pinnacle Pioneers hosting the Centennial Coyotes. That game winding toward the end of the third quarter there, as you see the offense on the field for Pinnacle. Coyotes 31-0 over Pinnacle currently as that game approaching quarter number 4. That is the AIA Game of the Week. That's available to watch live with KDB and Dan Minucci on the call at azpreps365.com. Back to the quad view as you see the home. Looks like the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets taking care of business tonight up in northeastern Arizona. Canyon View and Verrado, a close one there out in the West Valley. The Jaguars 27 and the Verrado Vipers 24, so we'll keep an eye on that one. That's available to watch live as well on the Neighborhood Sports Network with Josh Kolodziejski on the call. More Friday Night Red Zone coming up right here on the Epic Sports Network and aztv7.com. And congratulations to the South Point Catholic Lancers and Coach Eric Rogers beating the Saguaro SaberCats for the first time in school history by the score of 21-14. They will no doubt have a happy trip back to South Point Catholic High School in Tucson. More Friday Night Red Zone coming up here on the Epic Sports Network. A lot of these games going final now. We got a couple coming down to the wire, so we'll keep it here as long as necessary here to close out this Friday night of Arizona high school football here on the Epic Sports Network and aztv7.com. welcome you back here on the Friday Night Red Zone. We have once again got Truitt checking in with us from BJ Media. He is out at the Chandler at Perry game. Truitt, that is all Chandler Wolves tonight out there against the Perry Pumas. What kind of update do you got for us, my friend?
What's going on, guys? I'm here. Valentine, player of the game. Want to give you guys a quick interview with him.
Excellent. Khalil, how are you? Congratulations on the big win tonight. You guys dominated over the Perry Pumas, and it looks like you might have gotten the Superstar Car Wash Friday Night Showdown belt as well. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, sir. I don't know much about it right now, but they're going to end up telling me. I'm just very blessed and honored to be able to get this accomplishment, and I wouldn't do it without my teammates.
You know, speaking of your teammates, why don't you give a shout-out to that big offensive line who has been paving the way for you and allowing you to run through those open holes all season long. Talk about those big fellas.
I wouldn't be able to do it. These guys are right here, standing right here in my old line. So, I wouldn't be able to do it without them. We work every day in and out at practice, and it's just an honor to be able to have these coaches and just be with this O-line every day and work.
Khalil, congratulations on the big win tonight. Tell us what Coach Garrison does and how he gets you guys ready to play football every single week, week in and week out. The Chandler Wolves are always prepared to go to work.
He gets prepared like no other. Coach G is a phenomenal coach, and Coach E, everybody on the staff. So they get us prepared, like I said, like no other. We got practice tomorrow morning. We have to get ready for next week. It's just we got to prepare game by game, and we just got to get in there.
Khalil, show off that belt one more time, and congratulations from the Epic Sports Network. And you won the Friday Night Showdown there presented by the Fiesta Bowl. Mr. Rex DeVries on the helm of that, and that is a fantastic thing they're doing, celebrating Arizona high school football all. Congratulations once again on the victory, my friend, and we'll let you go celebrate with your teammate. Will Valentine joining us here on the Friday Night Red Zone.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Outstanding stuff there from Khalil Valentine. Thank you, Truitt, for that update from out there in Gilbert as the Chandler Wolves simply dominating the Perry Pumas tonight. Any final thoughts from that matchup, young man?
I'd say really just a great performance by Chandler. They really had great performance all season long. What I really got to say.
Great stuff from Truitt and BJ Media. Once again, thank you for your time out there, my friend. We hope you get with us next week as well. And Brandon, have a great night, my man. We'll talk to you again very soon as well.
You as well. Take care.
Thank you, gentlemen. Checking in with us from the Chandler at Perry game here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Great stuff here as we get you back to the live football action here on the Epic Sports Network. about the game out there in Chandler tonight between the Sierra Linda Bulldogs and the Seton Catholic Sentinels? The Bulldogs of Sierra Linda have retaken the lead 23-21. Our good friend Mr. Brett Quinton is out there, and he will hopefully be catching up with us following the conclusion of that one. We'll keep that one tuned in here tightly on the Friday Night Red Zone as we come down the home stretch here on the last Friday in October. Back and forth they continue to go out there in Chandler. Now the Seton Catholic Sentinels go on top, courtesy of a huge touchdown touchdown run from Ryan Creech. Creech transferred over from Alhambra High School and doing some damage tonight as they regain the lead against the Sierra Linda Bulldogs, 27-23. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter of the game. We'll keep an eye on that one here. Down the home stretch here on the Friday Night Red Zone. The game in the top right-hand corner of your screen has gone final between the Northwest Christian Crusaders and the Thunderbird Titans. We'll get you in a scoring update on that one here in just a moment. We got some more scoring updates for you folks as we keep our eyes on that Seton Catholic and Sierra Linda ball game up in the northern part of the state at Cromer Stadium. It's gone final. The Coconino Panthers defeat the Prescott Badgers 42-37 on senior night. And the Camelback Spartans have defeated Betty Fairfax 22-13. That scoring update provided by our good friends over at BJ Media. Special thanks once again to Brandon and Truitt for getting us field level tonight out in Gilbert at the Chandler and Perry. Right now, down in southern Arizona, the Sabino Sabercats taking care of business courtesy of Cam Hackworth. It's the Cam Hackworth show tonight over the previously undefeated Mojave Thunderbirds coming in from Bullhead City. Stay with us, more Friday Night Red Zone here. Also, another the Maricopa Rams get the win tonight, senior night, over Ironwood Ridge, 21-14. A tightly contested contest down there in Maricopa. Friday Night Red Zone coming to a close here on a Friday night, the last Friday in October. So glad you tuned in tonight. And special thanks once again to all of our guests this evening. Mr. Brett Quintine checking in from Sierra Linda at Seton Catholic. Hopefully we'll talk to him again here in just a little bit. Mr. Kyle Morgan down south at the Mojave at Sabino game. Mr. Peter Clark from 5 Star Sports checked in with us from McClintock at Campo Verde. And Brandon Jones and Truitt out there for BJ Media at the Chandler at Perry game. They got us Khalil Valentine as he was presenting his Friday Night Showdown belt he won tonight after his magnificent performance over the Chandler over the Perry Pumas. Back to the live football here on the Friday Night Red Zone. We got some more scoring updates for you folks as we watch the end of the Seton Catholic and Sierra Linda tight ball game, a 1-point contest there out in Chandler. The Eastmark Firebirds getting the win tonight over the Marcos Mesa Padres, 44-20. Centennial Coyotes final 31-6 over the Pinnacle Pioneers. mentioned it earlier, South Point Catholic taking down Saguaro 21-14. The Skyline Coyotes have beaten the Gilbert Tigers 49-7 behind a record 6 touchdowns for running back Jordan Blake. Micah Mountain defeats the Walden Grove Red Wolves 21-7. A great game down there in southern Arizona tonight. Nash is taking care of business over Castile this evening. A great game in Florence tonight as the Florence Gophers narrowly defeat the ALA Ironwood Warriors by the score of 31-28. Back to the live football here on the Epic Sports Network. Finals coming in, and we'll get them to you as they trickle in. Heritage Academy 4, Chandler Prep 27. Canyon Del Oro tonight all over Saguaro down in southern Arizona. 42-0 at last check. That courtesy of Miss Lori Burkhart. And another tight game down there in southern Arizona as the Buena Colts beat the Sunnyside Blue Devils 15-14. Sierra Linda once again on the march now out there at Seton Catholic. Back to the live football here on the Sports Network. We welcome you to overtime here on the Friday Night Red Zone. We're just after 10 p.m. local time here in Arizona. One last tight one for you here as battling Sierra Linda. Back and forth they go as now you see Seton Catholic making a nice charge down the field. We're going to keep our eye on this one here as we close things out, and we'll hopefully hear from Mr. Brett Quintine with a post-game player or two, possibly after the conclusion of this ball game. He's out there on the sidelines right now in Chandler. Stay with us. More Friday Night Red Zone here, overtime style. They have gone final out at Desert Mountain as the Higley Knights have put it on the Desert Mountain Wolves 58-21. Back to Chandler, Seton Catholic, and Sierra Linda. Sentinels a little play fake. They go to the air, it falls incomplete. Things have also gone final out at Pinnacle High School in North Phoenix as the Centennial Coyotes defeat the Pinnacle Pioneers 31-6. Minute 22 remaining here in this one between Seton Catholic and Sierra Linda. Sentinels break the huddle. Two receivers to the near side, one to the top, lined up at the numbers. They slide one over in motion, go with a toss. Trying to run through the traffic. Stop just shy of the goal line. Actually, about the 4, it looks like they're off the football. Minute and 11 seconds remaining here. A 3rd down and 10 upcoming and a timeout on the field. They want to make sure and get this one right, no doubt. Congratulations to the player of the game for the Centennial Coyotes, number 11, Noah Carter. This team getting the win tonight on the road at Pinnacle. Timeout on the field out in Chandler at Catholic. Gives me a chance to once again thank my special guests who are kind enough to join me here tonight on tonight's edition of the Friday Night Red Zone, Mr. Brett Quintine, who is still at that game you're looking at right now there at Seton Catholic. He'll be joining me here in the post game. Mr. Kyle Morgan checked in earlier tonight from Mojave at Sabino. I got a report from Kyle, that there was a unfortunate situation there, and an ambulance had to be called out onto the field, I believe, for a Mojave player. Prayers out to that man and his family. Hopefully, things will work out okay down there in southern Arizona. Peter Clark from 5 Star Sports for me this evening. He was at the McClintock at Campo Verde game. Brandon Jones threw it out there at Chandler and Perry. We had the pleasure also of talking with Mr. Little Valentine after he secured himself the Friday Night Showdown Player of the Game belt. There you see the turnover there, just as Seton Catholic attempting to enter the end zone territory. And Sierra Linda, they're going to have the football back. Unfortunately, it looks like a injury timeout there. You see Coach Ty Prayer out there checking on his wounded bulldog. Once again, back out to Pinnacle, where the Centennial Coyotes defeat Pinnacle Pioneers 31-6. The injury timeout. Another close football game right now in the fourth quarter. Well, we had it up there for a moment anyway. Let's see if we can get it back here for you. Looks like that one might have gone final. We're going to get you back out to Seton Catholic High School, where unfortunately the injured Sierra Linda player is still down there being tended to by the training staff. So we're going to go ahead and get you back out there now as the injured player is up under his own power. Always great to see that. They'll be able to continue playing football now with 1 minute 5 seconds remaining in the fourth. And if you just joined us, a turnover there. Seton Catholic was on the march. They were driving deep into Sierra Linda territory, and then they coughed it up. Sierra Linda now will operate from their end zone, pretty much. They hand it off. That's Cordillero on the carry. Seton Catholic's defense needing a stop right here. Sierra Linda moves the chains. Ball spotted now out at the 14-yard line. Once again, they will huddle up and discuss the next move here. We'll take a pseudo timeout and return for more Friday Night as the Seton Catholic and Sierra Linda game wraps up from Chandler.
Sheldon and Missy face off in Book Smarts versus Street Smarts.
You do not want me as an enemy, or as a friend, sibling, or student, I've been told.
Young Sheldon.
Weekdays at 5 on Channel 7.
Looking for some family fun? How about a little roller skating? That's what we're doing Monday morning here on AZTV 7 to kick off the Big Bang Theory. Come join us. Bazinga!
Eden Catholic defense rising to the occasion right there on 1st down and 10. Looks to be a loss of 4 on the play, so it should be a 2nd and 14 now upcoming after the timeout here. Make sure everybody's on the same page. That'll give us a chance to take a look at some more offerings available from AZTV7. Proud supporter of the Friday Night Red Zone here on the Epic Sports Network, and we so appreciate their support.
Want to see Big Bang from the start?
Oh, hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Watch The Big Bang Theory and play the Valpak See It from the Beginning 10K sweepstakes. You could win the $10,000 grand prize.
Yes, thank you.
Or $500 daily cash prizes and $100 instant wins inside Valpak.
Oh, goody.
Watch Big Bang weeknights for the word of the day.
Bazinga.
Text it to 55225 or go to BigBangSweepstakes.com. See Big Bang from the start and you could win.
Big Bang Theory, weeknights at 6 on Channel 7.
Teams once again taking the field now at Seton Catholic. 2nd down and 15, they're calling it here. 55.3 seconds on the clock. Bulldogs break the huddle, trips right. Kamal Lee motions a man over. Little stretch play. Nothing doing there is the Seton Catholic defense doing a really nice job stretching that one out. One more timeout on the field. Big possession, 3rd and 15 upcoming here for Sierra Linda. We'll see if they can keep the chains moving.
Over the years,
Boofaloo, come play I Spy.
we've watched them grow up.
How do I look?
But some things
To my peanut.
Tabina!
never change.
I'm not ready for this. Make time stop. Make it stop. Mom!
Relive the greatest moments
Middle school's over, losers.
with your favorite family.
Nothing bad's gonna happen. You're right, Pops. This whole driving thing is so...
The Goldbergs.
Weekdays at 4 on Channel 7.
We hope you've enjoyed tonight's edition of the Friday Night Red Zone. Under a minute to play out in Chandler. Sierra Linda Bulldogs and the Seton Catholic Sentinels. Marlee from the shotgun now on 3rd down and 15. Pressure comes, he has to kneel it down. And it appears that Sierra Linda is out of timeout. Or correction, Seton Catholic out of timeouts here, unable to stop the clock. As it runs under 15 seconds. You can see the jubilation toward the Sierra Linda sideline. 4.1 seconds remaining on the clock. 4th down and 19. So we'll see what Coach Prayer elects to do right here. They can run it and try to run that 4.1 seconds off the clock. They can take a shot down the field or just run some sort of play to run the time off the clock and then simply throw the football away. But we'll see exactly what they elect to do right here. Make sure and stay with us. We'll be joined hopefully by Mr. Brett Quintine shortly. And possibly a player from that very game you're watching right here on the Friday Night Red Zone. reminder to make sure and tune in tomorrow morning on 1580 The Fanatic for the AZ Preps 365 Saturday morning radio show. They will have the 2A and 3A bracket release show as part of the typical Saturday morning show, so you'll find out where all those teams will be seated and when they'll be playing starting next weekend, as the playoffs are literally right around the corner here into the Grand Canyon State. 4th and 19 here for Kamar Lee and the Bulldogs. 2x2 on the outside. He'll roll out to his right, and he'll go down for a safety. There's 1.4 seconds on the clock. That'll get Seton Catholic to within 3 right here, and they will get the football. Does not appear to be any sort of laundry on the field. This one not quite over yet, but it's getting close. Coaches yell, Peter, 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 get away from that football. No one touches it, so the clock does not start, and Seton Catholic will have one more crack at it here with 1.4 seconds remaining in regulation. Not really enough time for a play from scrimmage and then set up for a field goal attempt, so they're going to have to, no doubt, take a shot for the end zone here. Empty backfield here now for Seton Catholic. It's intercepted by Sierra Linda. And the icing on the cake, the exclamation point there for the Bulldogs. They're going to get the win on the road tonight in Chandler. Congratulations to Coach Prayer and the Bulldogs. A well-deserved, hard-fought road victory there. They come out on top. That was Kendre Pride right there with the INT. Stay with us here, folks. Once again, the Sierra Linda Bulldogs getting the win tonight over the Seton Catholic Sentinels, 35-26. They've just gone final there in Chandler. And Mr. Brett Quintine is on site. We will be checking in with him, no doubt, here in just a moment or so. Teams will have their post-game. Good old-fashioned slugfest out there in Chandler tonight. This game was back and forth, especially during that second half. So we'll keep our eyes locked on the field here as we await Mr. Brett Quintine checking in with us one last time this evening following these post-game huddles. Stay with us here as we wrap up another edition of the Friday Night Red Zone on aztv7.com. just past 10:30 here in Arizona. Thank you so much for tuning in once again here on the Friday Night Red Zone. Once again, thanks to my very special guests who were able to join me tonight. Unfortunately, we weren't able to catch up with Mr. Quinton there at the end of the show, but I thank him as well for joining me here tonight on what was indeed an epic night of Arizona high school football. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Have a great rest of your Friday night and enjoy the rest of your weekend and the gorgeous weather we're now having here. And the Diamondbacks will try to bounce back in Game 2 tomorrow night out there at Globe Life Field in Arlington. Once again, thanks again to everyone who tuned in tonight on the Friday Night Red Zone. I hope you had a great time. I certainly did as well. Have a great week, and I'll see you again next Friday night for another edition of the Friday Night Red Zone here on the Epic Sports Network.